So years ago, I asked myself the question, why is it that this person can walk into a room and it feels like the room caves in and conforms to them, whereas when I walk into the room, I feel invisible, I feel like I'm not seen, and I don't feel like enough. And over the years, I wanted to compensate for this in ways. I wanted to learn how is it that person does that. So I started analyzing them, and I was like, you know what? They're fit. They're fit and they're confident. And I want to be that way. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get fit and I'm going to get confident. And that's exactly what I did. If you've seen my journey over the past, honestly, the past year and a half, you've seen the transformation in the way I speak, the way I present myself, and also the way I appear. The thing is, that shift between the man who feels invisible and the man who just walks into the room is not that he's fitter. It's not that he has some outward achievement, something that he can display and prove to other people that he is the man. No, it's not necessarily that. Because that is honestly just a product of becoming the man. Becoming the man is actually something much deeper that happens within you. It happens when you stop focusing on how you can finally feel like enough, how you can finally get confident enough, how you can finally get jacked so you can feel confident, how you can finally get enough money so you can feel looked up to, how you can finally get enough fame so you can be popular enough and accepted by enough people. The thing is, in all those things, there is still the same insecurities. So no matter how much work you do for things that are physical, the same insecurities you have now will still exist. And you might be asking me, how do you know that, Enoch? The reason I know that is because I'm living it. I've built a lot of muscle, almost built enough to where I'm not even considered skinny anymore. That was one of the big insecurities in my life, was feeling skinny, and I let it control me. So I got bigger. I built muscle, over 60 pounds in the last 3 years. Now, I got bigger, and guess what? I still felt skinny. From that, I knew that the issue was actually something deeper within me. That it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't fit and wasn't taking care of myself. It was a deeper insecurity within myself that if I could just feel like enough by building more muscle, then it would work. It would work effortlessly. And because I had big biceps and because I was lean and shredded and had a six-pack and looked good, it would finally be enough. But it wasn't. I get tons of compliments every day. All these things happen that are great, that make me feel good in the moment. But what happens when I go home and I'm alone? The same insecurity of not feeling like enough still pops up. So I asked myself, why do I still not feel like enough? And it came down to one answer. One answer. And I think feeling like enough is something all of us, especially us younger generations, are chasing. And it's why we have given to peer pressure. It's why we do all these things, because we want to feel like enough. And we think feeling like enough is someone else telling us that we're enough. And the shift that's so valuable here is not that you need someone else to tell you you're enough, but that feeling like enough is simply an acceptance of yourself. An acceptance of viewing yourself the same way God views you. That you are enough, that you are a child of God, that you're full, complete, and whole exactly how you are, and you do not have to change anything. But here is the issue. You can accept that, but you can still go back to the old patterns that you've lived in for however many years. Because the thing is, the reason you don't feel like enough is because you are living with the borrowed self. And the borrowed self is that version of you that has been formed over all these years to satisfy everyone else because you wanted them to tell you that you are enough. But the simple fact is, the borrowed self makes you feel like you're not enough because it seeks external validation, whereas feeling like enough is knowing internally that you're enough. So we now come into an issue. You have to now act like yourself. And you have to understand the patterns of who the borrowed self is. How does he operate? What are the things that you had to do as a child to feel loved, to feel like enough, to fit in? Those are the patterns that you formed to get acceptance from other people. So We have to build awareness around this. This means journaling when we notice this feeling of not being enough. We have to journal about these experiences and talk about what triggers those things. And as we build awareness about all these things that make us feel like we're not enough, we then go in and understand that we are enough. We understand the patterns, and we can recognize the patterns. So when they do pop up, we say, no, I actually am enough. That was based off of a lie, and this pattern I can now let go of. And I can just embrace exactly how I feel in this current situation, and I can live it out. Because the thing that makes you magnetic, I'm talking about you and anybody else who wants to feel like a magnetic person, is not faking. It's not being the borrowed self. It's not acting like someone who gets validation from everyone else. It is actually acting exactly how you feel like acting. That is what makes you feel like enough, because you are acting in complete unison with how you feel. Your body is acting exactly how your heart feels inside. That is when you feel like enough. And when you feel like enough, because of the mirror principle, which means however you feel in here is what you see out here. When you feel like enough in here, you finally see that you're enough out here. The idea is you never focus on the external, because if you focus on feeling like enough out here, you're going to forget that you're enough in here. And when you forget that you're enough in here, and you focus on being enough out there, you then feel like you're not enough again, and you go back to the borrowed self. So all I am saying, and the secret to all these things and all these things within the world that you desire to have, is noticing the mirror effect. Noticing that everything that is happening internal is the lens, how you see the world through on the external. So know that you must first build strength inside, and then let strength be manifest outside. Jesus even talked about this. The Pharisees, he said, woe to you Pharisees, you clean the outside of the cup thinking that you'll become whole, but really you must clean the inside of the cup, and then the outside of the cup will become clean also. So Jesus speaks about this principle, and he says, he shifts our focus off of the outside and onto the inside, building a stronger relationship with God. That is what is so valuable. When you start to see yourself the way God sees you, you are now enough. So that is a lesson I have learned with years of journaling and questioning the patterns that happen in my life. So if you want to feel magnetic when you walk into a room, stop trying to feel magnetic to other people. Instead, feel magnetic to yourself. When you decide to accept that you are enough the way you are, and you feel magnetic to yourself because you're being who you feel you are, you now notice the magnetism because of you happening outside and multiplying and being contagious. Because we all want to be around that magnetic person because it makes us feel magnetic. So stop seeking validation outside of yourself. I've fallen into this trap many times, but I keep pulling myself back. No, we want to acknowledge that we are enough right now. In this current moment, you are enough exactly who you are. Nothing added to you, not because you have a nice car, not because you have money in your bank account, not because you have a cool car or you have good looks. None of that matters. If you just know that you are enough the way you are, that is all you need to continue to walk in fulfillment and acceptance of yourself. This is how you become magnetic. Go and apply what you have learned from this video, and you will see how it shifts your life. This thing called reality is simply an experiment, a video game that we are playing to learn how to operate and become our true selves.